In scripting, you use the for loop when you want to repeat a bunch of code for an exact number of times. Here's an example of a for loop, and in this case, I want to repeat this statement 5 times. To declare the for loop, you start with the keyword for, and then you declare a variable, which is going to be your counter. It's going to go from 1 to 5. The first time going through, I'm reading this for statement. My I is going to be set to 1, and I'm going to do everything in here. Once I hit the end, I'm going to go back up here, and my I is going to increment automatically by 1. So it's going to go to 2. I'm going to do everything in here. So now if I print I now, it's going to print out 2. As opposed to the first time I go through, when I print I is going to be 1. It's going to hit the end, goes back up. Now my I is going to be 3. It's going to print 3. And then it's going to continue until I is 5. It's going to go and print out 5. When it hits the end, it goes back up. I is 6. 6 is greater than 5. The condition is false. It's not going to do anything here when the condition is false. It's just going to exit out. Let's run tests and take a look. So here it is. The first time it goes into the loop, I is 1, it printed out 1. And then it loops back up. I is incremented to 2, it printed out 2. And it keeps doing that. So it printed out 3, 4, and 5. When I is 5, it goes into the loop, it printed out 5, goes to the end, goes back up. I is now 6. 6 is greater than 5, so the condition is false, and then it just exits out of the for loop. Now your for loop also has a third parameter, which is the incrementation. You can indicate how much to increment by each time you loop through the loop. For example, now we're going to increment each time by 2. So the default is 1, but you can specify how much to increment each time. So for example, we're going to start from 2, let's say, and we're going to go to 20. Each time we're going to increment I by 2. Let's run tests and take a look. So here it is. It starts out with I equal to 2, then 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, all the way to 20. Once it hits 20, it goes back up. I is 22. 22 is greater than 20, so it just exits out of the for loop. If you need to do a countdown, you can also use the for loop to do a countdown. For example, here, I'm going to start counting down from 10, and I'm going to go to, let's say, 0. We're going to subtract 1 each time. So we're going to put in -1 here. So when it first goes into the loop, I is going to be 10. The second time, I is going to be 9. And it's going to keep on going until I is 0. Then it's going to exit out of the loop. Let's take a look. And here it is. First time going through, I is 10. Then 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, all the way to 0. And that's how you use the for loop in scripting.